All right, we're live.
We are live. Or are we?
Yeah, maybe not.
We slipped into an alternate reality here.
I'm trying not to fall asleep here. I'm in Rome.
Oh yeah. So what time? So it's afternoon, late afternoon, right? Or
yeah, it's like 6:00 p.m.
okay.
Here. It's like
when did you land? Just in the last day, or
let's say Friday, so yesterday. Yeah, but
okay.
like I left on Wednesday night at 10:30, and then arrived in Rome at like 7:30, like 8:00. So p.m. the next day.
Okay.
Because it was like a 12-hour flight. So major jet lag.
Was it a direct flight or hey,
Yeah.
Chuck?
Hey, Chuck.
From the city of brotherly love.
We can't. You're very, very quiet. Very, very quiet. Oh, there's Manny.
Hey, everyone is here. Yeah, no, I think it was like, yeah, it was a direct flight from LA. So 12 hours from LA. So.
Is that better?
No.
Nope.
Sadly, no. Wondering if you're coming through your device, like your mic on your. You might be coming through the laptop mic and partially covering it or something. It's kind of what it sounds like.
Could be. That any better?
Nope.
Nope.
Is that better?
Nope.
No.
Only now we can't see you either.
I still want to make a podcast. Just it's called Mic Check.
Yeah.
No, I'll do the every episode. Like, can you hear me now? No? All right, like that. Tap tap tap. Last episode on Mic.
Oh man, I can hear you typing. Like that.
Josh was breathing into the microphone.
Yeah.
Well, good. There's more people, so if I fall asleep,
yes,
it will be trying to get my attention.
How many hours have you been up then?
Well, I slept last night, but you know how it is with jet lag. Like you're just it's weird. So
I found on my trip, I ended up staying up for like almost. I think I slept like 3 or 4 hours in 36 hours. So that actually I synced right away when you do that. Yeah, I was just so tired that I fell asleep as soon as I went to bed.
I've figured out the system for jet lags now. I've been jet lagging for the last 18 years of my fucking life. So
yeah.
The key is to use coffee as much as possible during the day, and then at nightfall, like as soon as the evening comes, take a sleeping pill in whatever time zone you're in, and that's it. Do it for 2 days, and then you're ready. You don't need any more coffee. You don't need sleeping pills. You're back on the rhythm. I used to struggle. I would be like 7 days on a freaking 2 a.m. wake up cycle.
So I'm a nerd and I had a microphone in my bag. Is that better?
Oh, that is so much better. That is amazingly better.
It looks like a professional.
Chuck, you can get up and walk around the audience now and
Oh, there we go.
Do the full.
You should do some karaoke now.
I'll have to put my laptop down for that. I really get into it. Oh.
All right, let's do this.
Yeah.
So where are you at, John?
I'm in Roma until Sunday.
Barcelona.
What's that? Well, on Sunday I go on a cruise through the Greek islands, and then after that I go back to Rome and then take a flight to Madrid, and I'm there for a couple of days, and then I'll be in Barcelona the rest of the time. So
nice. Yep. You've been to Rome before?
Me?
Mm-hmm.
I was there last year. Yep.
Okay. You guys just go there for
Didn't you swear never to do this again, John?
I always swear never to do things. This one's not as crazy of a trip though. It's only 3 countries, and only like a month and a couple weeks. So that's much more. 3 months is too long. So.
Yeah. Can't even imagine.
Yeah.
Chuck, where are you? You're at the
I'm in Philadelphia.
Philadelphia.
Podcast
Oh,
movement.
I am in the airport right now, getting
Were you at
ready
the
to fly home.
podcast movement?
Yeah, I went to Podcast Movement.
Nice.
Man, I had the ticket. I couldn't sell it. Fuck.
Oh,
Really? Huh.
No. They said no, you can't sell it. Fuckers.
nice. How was it, Chuck?
yeah. It was good. I don't know. So I used to kind of know everybody who was here at Podcast Movement, and this year it wasn't quite that way so much. The other thing is that I'm still kind of depressed just from things,
Yeah.
my dad passing and all that stuff, and I don't know, what the natural progression of that is, but there were some days that I just didn't really feel like socializing either, and so it was kind of a dud that way. I did run into some folks I knew the last day and connected with them, and that was really good. And I got really inspired by some of the stuff that I saw at some of the sessions and, some of the interactions I had. So that was all positive. And I'll probably come back next year and hopefully be a little more willing to socialize. But yeah, this year I just wasn't up for a lot of it. So I didn't go to any of the parties or anything like that. But the big takeaways this time were essentially, so one thing that we've talked about in the past is the stats with Blueberry.
Yep.
And I went to a session that Todd Cochran was talking at. He's a longtime podcast guy, and he was talking about podcast stats. And apparently, the IAB standard for podcast tracking came out in December, which is when all my numbers dropped.
Oh.
And
there you go.
Blueberry and Libsyn were both on the train helping make those standards up. And so apparently they've been using those standards for the last few months. And, it would have been nice if they had emailed me and said, hey, we're changing the way we're tracking stuff.
Hey, all that traffic you were getting, half of it's gone, buddy.
Well, so I looked at the standard and they kind of talked through some of it, and a lot of it makes sense, right? They cut out anything that was like a header request or things like that, right? And so, yeah, and then the other thing is, and I think I said this when we were talking about if I built my own stats thing, if it came from the same IP address and user agent within 24 hours, it was a duplicate. And that's the standard on the IAB standards.
Okay.
So I'm actually fairly confident that instead of building my own stats engine at this point, I think I'm just going to see if there's a way for me to hook into theirs.
Okay.
Because then I don't have to worry about, matching up with the standards and things like that. I can just,
right.
And so I can say, look, sign up for a hosting plan. Use one of these, if you use Libsyn, they do tracking. If you use Blueberry, they do tracking. And then we'll just pull the numbers from them and we'll give you and your sponsors the reports.
Right. Does Blueberry, is that hosting as well? I thought they just did. I thought they just
offer both.
Did like a plugin that you could use on your site to stream.
Yeah. So they have. Anyway, they do have a plugin that does a player on your website and stuff like that. And then I think it's PowerPress. But then on top of that, they offer stats tracking for your media, and they also offer hosting.
Okay.
And so you can do the whole thing with them, and that'll work. So right now I'm just using them for download tracking because I have a sponsorship agreement with CashFly for my downloads. So we'll see how that goes. I'm actually halfway tempted to terminate that and just move everything back over to Libsyn. I don't know. Since they both use the IAB tracking and then just work things out so that it pulls the numbers from both, from either one. Or if you want to do PodTrack or something like that, it'll pull stats from them if they have an API. But then I don't have to build this whole engine to track downloads and all that stuff, blah, blah, blah. right? Then it's just, here's the podcast workflow, here's your sponsorship workflow, you know, and that's it.
Right.
And then if I get a lot of requests for, hey, you know, we really wish that you would do the hosting too, then I can look at what I want to do that way. And, you know, there's definitely a market out there for it, you know, and I could probably charge a little bit of a premium for it because it would directly integrate with everything else that I've got. But if I don't have to build a service into this right now, I don't want to. So,
Yep.
but yeah. So anyway, so I'm not going to build a stats tracking service. I'm just going to pull the info from, you know, from one of these other services.
Okay.
So I'm just going to make sure that Blueberry's happy at this point. And yeah.
And they have APIs.
Unless you guys think I'm crazy. What?
Do they have APIs for that?
They do. I need to talk to somebody over there and make sure that I understand how their API authentication works, because I'm not sure. I do have an API key for them, but I think it's just for my own stats.
Oh, okay.
And so I don't know if I'm going to have to, you know, I don't want to have to force my customers to go contact them and request an API key and then put it in. I'd like to work things out so that I have some sort of partnership with them. And then if we can do some kind of third-party verification or something, then, you know, then we can work from there.
Right.
So I may go talk to their folks, but yeah, that's kind of what I'm leaning toward at this point.
I mean, you're basically building an abstraction layer over top of Blueberry and Libsyn. So, you know, if you decided you wanted to host in the future, you could do that, or you could white label their services.
Yeah. So. And that might be worth it too. In fact, that's probably even a better option, because then I can just treat all of my customers as my customers, right?
Exactly.
I don't have to go jump through the hoop of, oh, well, I need this blah, blah, blah for the stats.
Yeah.
Right.
Right. Well, you could, you know, you might be able to do it kind of abstracted initially, just manually by, like, when somebody signs up with you, you create the Libsyn account and they don't even have to know it exists.
Yeah, that's true.
You know,
and then just figure that in to the cost.
And you could also think about, like, would you actually need a bunch of different accounts, or could you just use one and have a bunch of different shows in it?
That's true. I don't know. I think I'd rather just talk to him. I mean, I know Rob over at Libsyn, and I know I've talked to Todd a couple of times over at Blueberry, so I could probably figure something out that way. And just be like, look, you know, can I just have some kind of API managed account or accounts? And just, you know, we just negotiate some kind of rate so that I can pass the costs on to my customers. And then if they want to migrate a show over to me from Libsyn or something, then we can figure that out. But anyway.
Nice.
So that'd be interesting. The other thing that came out of it was that there was a talk, and then I wound up talking to the company at their booth. It's selfpublishingschool.com.
Okay.
And it's about writing a book and publishing.
I know the guy.
Chandler Bolt. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I chatted with him a bunch. I chatted with a bunch of people who work for him, and I wound up signing up for their course. And it's been super good so far. So my plan is over the next, it kind of opened up a whole bunch of possibilities in my head. So one of them was that, you know, I could probably crank a book in, you know, a couple weeks, 30 days. You know, I could probably get the rough draft done in a week or two, because I've already been thinking about this stuff for my course. And then grind the course out, and then make sure that I have the book ready to launch, you know, in a few weeks, and then do a book launch, self-published, and, you know, turn around and do the course launch along with it, and use the book as kind of a feeder to the course. And I feel like within the next few months, that might bring in a steady stream of income, a little bit steadier, I think, than the sponsorships, which seems to come in, big drips, and then, I have to wait until the next one I landed comes. So anyway, so I'm kind of looking at that. With what I paid for the course, though, I'm definitely going to be writing a book or 3. But if I can do a $10,000 launch, then I basically make more than double my money back. So that's kind of what I'm aiming at there.
The gym membership.
Yeah, but then it's a lifetime membership, so then I can just go back through the process and do it again for another book. And I think what I'm going to do is, I also have been thinking about doing like 1-hour videos, sort of like Peep Code used to do. And it would be like, basic React in an hour, basic Redux in an hour. And just make sure that I'm putting out, a couple videos every month. And that way I can start offering a subscription service for that. So people can come in and they can, they get access to all of the backlog of the videos, except for maybe like the $500 course on finding a job, or, some of the more expensive things. If they sign up for a year, maybe they get access to those other, one of those other ones or something. But then I can build out some series and things like that around the shows that I have. And I pretty well at this point think I want to focus on the JavaScript community, since that's my largest show, and just sell that for all it's worth. Because I figure I have about 8,000 or 9,000 email list subscribers just for JavaScript, and then I have 30,000 subscribers to the podcast. And so I don't see any reason why I shouldn't be able to sell those as I come out with them.
Where did you get the podcast subscriber numbers?
I pulled them out of Blueberry.
It gives you the exact numbers?
It tells you how many downloads you get on each media file that you send through them.
Yeah, it gives you downloads, but that doesn't give you the subscriber numbers, right?
Yeah, so I just do downloads per episode, so I just average it out.
Okay, so the number of downloads per episode is the number of subscribers, you think?
Pretty close. I mean, I don't know if it's exactly subscribers, but, I reach 30,000 people every week. So, if 20,000 of those are actual subscribers to the RSS feed, and I get another 10,000, and I'm just throwing these numbers out, I think it's much closer to, I think the vast majority of the people who get the episodes are subscribed to the RSS feed and get them every week.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's probably closer to 25,000, but just for the sake of argument, if I have 10,000 hit or miss listeners, I still hit them with the ads and can still drive them to check out the book or get a freebie or something like that.
Look at John.
Sorry.
I'm trying. No, it's not you. Just,
John.
I couldn't hear you either, so.
Slap yourself, John. Slap yourself.
I made it like 5 miles this morning for a run, and I lifted today, but now I'm like,
get some
dying.
coffee.
I don't know.
Coffee.
I don't have any coffee right now. I need some.
But yeah, so that's kind of the plan going forward. So if I can get this book and course together and kind of make that the flagship product for the next while, then I can start putting some of these other things together. The other thing is that I've been out there looking at content, and I'm thinking about actually pulling together books for JavaScript, React, Angular, and Vue that are essentially interview questions and answers, and then just putting them out there. So
what
was that?
What would the course be about, you're saying?
So if I put together a book that was like a list of interview questions that people ask about React, for example, and then just explain the answers, so it's well, it depends, right? Or, and here's what it depends on, and here's what the answer is, and explain the concepts around it so that people, especially newer people who are trying to get a job, they can just come in and pick that up and be able to answer technical questions about it. Stuff like that.
Okay. Makes sense.
Because I'm seeing a lot of books get traction on those. I've seen one on Python and one on Java, but I haven't seen anything in the JavaScript space. So,
is the Python one the self-taught developer? Is that the one you're thinking of, or?
It was on Amazon. I was poking through Amazon to see what was out there.
Yeah, there's a lot of like all the top programming books right now on Amazon are pretty much Python.
Yeah. Well, and it'd be interesting to break into Python. The thing is that I have these podcasts going, and so as they gain traction, I mean, once they hit a certain threshold, I could do videos and books and courses on Ruby as well. I mean, I have a large enough audience there to go for it. And all the Ruby folks would be interested in the JavaScript stuff, or most of them would, because most of them are web developers. So I definitely see this as a way forward. And I mean, if I can get a consistent, $10K a month in product sales, I'll keep selling the sponsorships, but then I have a kind of a monthly nut that I can lean on and rely on.
Or so you think.
Yes. I know you've had some concerns and issues there.
Guaranteed.
But I mean, I feel like if I'm putting new paid content out every month, and so I'm consistently doing a launch, it's just like, hey, look, this is the launch price, and if you don't get it now, you're going to have to pay 20%, 30%, 50% more. 100% more. I don't know, but I think I can consistently make those sales, and then I can make those videos so that it's like, hey, look, we have this whole library here, and if you want access to the rest of it, get a subscription.
Or so you think.
Well, the thing is I have the marketing engine out there already. Yeah. I have the podcasts out there, so it's just a matter of pulling it back into this stuff and focusing on it. So
yeah.
The other thing is that I can also sprinkle it in with affiliate deals for like Wes Boss's stuff and things like that. So
yeah, and they're technology focused.
Once you get using your email list and monetizing it, and using your podcast to monetize for your own stuff, those things will happen over time.
Yeah,
it's hard to. One of the things about products is it's hard to know ahead of time what will work out. But as you go, as you work with your audience, as you try to talk to them, you will get the feedback as to what they want and price point is, and everything will come together as you kind of go through with them. It's I mean, we start with this initial assumption, but then as we go, that shit changes. So.
Yeah, but the thing is that I'm already talking to a lot of people in my audience on the podcasts. And so, like, for Angular, I can think of 3 or 4 one-hour video courses that people would buy like candy, right?
Why don't you sell it today?
I just need to make the video. I need to go learn the technology and then make the video.
No, you don't. You can put up a sales page, sell it, and then create the video later. That's the way I would highly recommend you do, rather than try to create it before you sell it. Because if you sell it, now you know if people are going to buy it or not.
So just do a pre-sale, and then if the pre-sale doesn't reach a certain threshold, then refund everybody's money?
Yep. That way you don't.
I'm doing one tomorrow.
What was that?
I'm doing one tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
nice.
the issue there is I don't want people to get... Like, I have to deliver at least somewhat regularly. Otherwise, people are going to be like, oh, well, I'm not going to take the chance on this one.
No, nothing like that. That's your thinking. That's not how people think. If you're going to get a good deal, if you say, hey, sign up now, I'm going to give you a good deal. And if you don't get enough signups, I'll return their money. You're being transparent. They're cool with it.
Oh, that's true.
They're not going to hate on you because you return their money.
That's true.
So instead of spending so much time thinking about all the possibilities, you might as well just test it.
That's true. I guess the other end of that is that if I price it low enough to where it's kind of a no-brainer, right? So if it's a 1-hour video on NGRX, for example, and I price it at 10 or 15 bucks, maybe even 20 bucks, a lot of people will just, they'll just take the chance on it because it's not a whole lot of money out of their pocket.
Yeah. I mean, I would caution you against trying to sell very low ticket item. But yeah, I mean, that's a good tripwire to get started.
Yeah.
Like 40, 50 bucks, somewhere in that range is also good. But yeah, you know, if you run a sale, you can price it, you can say it's $99 and then give a discount and say it's for the next few days or whatever. It's $19 or something like that, just to see what you get out of it.
That's true.
But yeah,
that's
I mean,
a possibility.
It'd be so much faster, so much better than trying to spend all this time and not knowing what the audience wants.
That's true, and I could do it for this book and this course too, and just say, look, you know, you're going to get it on this date, you know, but if you buy it ahead of time.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, all you need to do is really put up a sales page and sell it. I've literally not created a single course before I've sold it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Every course I sell before I create, because then I know if people want it or not.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the meditation course was one of the big gambles, because I'm not, you know, the book summary is separate from meditation, but
yeah,
I actually did the marketing and sold the course before I created anything. And then I went on to create it.
That's true. The other angle on this that I've thought about is doing it as kind of a sponsorship dealio. So, you know, there are tools out there like Sentry, for example. They're sponsoring some of my shows. Mm-hmm. And I could say, look, you know, I'll put the video out for free, right? So it's Sentry in an hour or Sentry in an hour and a half. Mm-hmm. And have them pay, right? So they essentially, you know, they pay $10,000 and then, you know, people can come and download the video for free. Mm-hmm. And see if their company's interested in doing something like that. Because there are a few companies out there that are looking to get traction. And it's one thing if it's, hey, you know, blah, blah, blah on the show. It's another thing if it's, you know, hey, you know, you're listening to the show. Well, I have an hour video on how to use DigitalOcean or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, you can try it. Really depends on how you're able to sell that to the sponsor as to what they will get out of this whole thing, because they need to feel like, okay, well, that was worth the $10,000 they spent on it. So whichever way you do it, whichever way you are able to show it to them that it's worth their money, that's possible.
However, that makes sense.
It's still a test. I mean, I think it's better off if you do the test before you actually go down that path, because then your sponsor, you know, you build, you know, you don't want a situation where you do something and then the sponsor comes back and says that wasn't really worth it. So now you're in the middle of, you're like, shit, I spent all this time, I did all this effort and nothing happened, compared to you test it, you see it works, and then you say, okay, now it's a sponsorship deal only. No more, I'm not going to sell it to the public, only through sponsor or something like that. But then you at least know what the sponsor is going to get, or what, you know, what the uptake is and how interested people are.
Yeah, that's true. I guess the other thing that I could do is I could also just add it as an upgrade to current sponsorships, right? So it's hey, you know, you're going to sponsor and you're going to get spots on all the episodes, and then you're going to, you know, it'll cost you an extra however much, and I'll make the video course for your product, right? And so then I can promote that as part of the deal. And so then there are going to be some people who just go check it out because I said to, and there are going to be some people who want to go and kind of see what it's about. So they'll go watch the course and go, oh, this is really nice. And then they'll sign up.
Yeah, I would say don't be afraid of selling, because that's very typical when you're trying to put together a course and try to sell it yourself. You feel kind of like we all do. We feel this trepidation, like, shit, what if, you know, there's this subconscious fear of selling, but you gotta get used to it and just go ahead and sell the damn thing and see what happens. Because there's this thing you feel like, oh, what if
what I'm putting out there works?
Huh? Yeah.
I know what I'm putting out there works. I know that it's worth the money. Yeah. And so I'm not as much worried about that. And I feel like if there's something that I leave out, I can add it in, and I can email all the people, you know, who bought the course and just say, hey, look, this other thing came to my attention, or, you know, I had intended to put this in and somehow it got overlooked. Here you go. And people will appreciate that. There's, you know, people are pretty forgiving that way. I'm not so worried about selling it, because I'm pretty confident that it's going to be what people want. So
that's it then. Yeah, you should sell it. You should pre-sell it. It'll be so much better.
I totally should. The other thing is that I don't have openings on all of my shows, but I have openings on several of my shows, even if it's just the end of the show post roll. and so I can jump in and put my stuff in there.
Yeah. Not only that, I mean, think of it's almost like you have to think also in terms of nurturing and selling through email. Like, think of a lead magnet that can lead to this course that you're
Right.
trying to sell, rather than try to sell directly on podcasts. It can work. It works. I've done that. I've sold directly on YouTube and podcasts, but it's way more effective selling through email, because then you can sell again and again to that person a lot of different things. So instead of just saying, I'll just sell the course directly on the podcast, you can sell the lead magnet. And
I'm not sure if you're cutting out or if I am.
I think it's Manny.
Okay.
going now.
I am on airport Wi-Fi, so you never know. Yeah, I like the idea of doing essentially a pre-sale and actually having a lead magnet too. Hey, because like the first chapter of the book is going to be here are 3 things that you can do right now that are going to make your job search way more effective. And so I can just give them that chapter and then just be like, look, the rest of the book's going to dive into, how you take advantage of all the rest of the stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and the good thing about lead magnets, like putting out lead magnets, is it's a good test to evaluate what the market wants.
Mm-hmm.
Depending on the conversions, if this is something the market wants or doesn't want. So lead magnets are a really easy and cheap way to constantly evaluate what people are looking for.
Right. That makes sense.
All right. John?
Yeah.
Beep, 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 beep.
John's been participating in the call.
He has. He's been listening with his eyes closed, breathing deeply.
Everything's been being embedded into my subconscious. I'm gonna go make lead magnets. Mathematics are very good.
So what's in Rome, John?
What's here? Like why am I here? Or like because I'm going on a cruise that leaves from Rome. So
okay.
I'm here a couple days early to fight the jet lag.
for fun, for work, for something else?
Just for fun, yeah. Just
Yeah.
Yeah.
How's the pizza?
Good. I had pizza last night. It was good. Yeah.
Mi manca la pizza italiana.
Hey.
What's mon?
Mi manca means I miss.
Manca. Oh, miss. Okay, yeah, miss.
How did the Podio thing go?
The what thing?
Next
what
question.
That? We didn't do any Podio thing.
Yeah. So that was the worst affiliate promotion I've ever done. So yeah. I knew there was a pretty good chance it wasn't going to work.
Which affiliate was this?
This was Podia. So Podia is the course software, the course software that we use. So we have like 25 or 30,000 people that have gone through John's blogging course at this point. And we do get a lot of questions from people who are interested in creating online courses and doing that because John did it. And so I was pretty sure that it wasn't going to go all that well. I'd promoted it to my list of about 1,500 people, and I think I did maybe a couple $1,000s in sales. So I was like, surely, we'll at least we'll make something off of it. Well, so I ended up I only ended up doing 2 emails because it was so bad. I just didn't even bother doing the final one. I tried to pitch it from the angle of like, I tried to not go like, hey, this is great course software. I tried to start from like, the idea of creating side income, which is what a lot of people are, a ton of people are interested in our audience. And so I did 2 different emails about generating side income and pitched Podia as a good platform, easiest platform to get started with. And so day one, I sent the email to 86,000 people. Let me see. And I made 0 conversions.
Oh man.
Actually 0. So okay, to anyone listening, say who thinks, surely if I just send this to enough people, someone will buy it. I will testify that it is entirely possible for that, to make 0 sales. So I sent it to 86,000 people, got a 17% open rate on the email, and 510 clicks and 0 sales.
506.
Yeah. So
0.5%, 0.4%,
0.6%.
Yeah.
So then day two, what I did day two was I just decided to send it to people that had opened I sent it to a smaller group on day two. That one got a 29% open rate and a 0.5% click rate. So a total of about almost 700 clicks. And I made 2 conversions and for a total of $8.70.
Yay.
And well, no, the good news is it is recurring. So as long as they keep that subscription active, we'll get $8.70 a month for a while.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I will pay you $8.70 a month for perpetuity if you keep mailing my products every month.
That sounds like a pretty good deal. Make it $800 or $8.80, and you've got a deal.
You got a deal.
Yeah. So yeah, I had planned to do
there.
What's that?
John's gonna pass out there to listen to those numbers.
Yeah. So I think there were a few things going on. I think for one thing, it was subscription software. So I'm not really planning on promoting subscription software in the future. Like we've done really well with Bluehost, but I think it's because they're paying us like an insane amount of money, and the customer's only paying them like $2.90. So it's practically free. It's like $2.90 a month or something for the hosting. So it's practically free, and they know their customer numbers, so they pay us like a big wad of cash. So that works. I think for the most part, though, we've had no luck with Drip. We've had no luck with we've had some small amount of success with Thrive. And basically no luck now with Podia. So subscription software is just not. Oh, and the ironic thing was, so the first email was, I was talking about how we were like, part of the theme was like, John and I were talking the other week, and we were like, the thing that has made us more money than everything else combined, like by a factor of probably 3, is selling courses.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so I talked about this in the email, and one guy replied, he's like, well, Josh, be honest, don't you make more money from doing affiliate promotions like this? It was particularly hilarious in this context because, we literally made nothing that day.
You should reply back.
Yeah. I told him, like I said, about 5% of our income comes from this type of, affiliate promotion overall. But.
Oh man, I was also thinking about it actually. Partly, it's also the fact that if I'm a course creator, I cannot make my decision that quickly. Like I cannot just tomorrow decide to change a course platform just because you're offering a discount.
Well, I mean, I did. I think I drove like 20 or 30 signups from my list when I did it.
This is about beginning the journey of course creation. Really, is your.
Yeah. And
if you think about it, like beginning the journey of course creation is also not as simple as we now know it is, right? For the guy who's in the trenches, putting up a website makes sense. Maybe creating like WordPress themes and all that stuff makes sense. But after that, it's like, unless they are really hardcore dedicated to this thing, putting up a membership site is not really so high up on their. Unless they're like in the BizOps space, they're like in the.
The odd thing, there's my cat. The odd thing was, at least a couple of the people that signed up when I did the promotion for my list are people I know are on the Simple Programmer email list. So It's not like, it's not there. The little tiny bit of overlap that I have, I saw some of those people buy, so I wasn't completely off my rocker to try it. But
I wonder if it would have been easier if you had like done a webinar of some sort with the guy to kind of explain and walk through the whole thing, and then try to.
They're not at that step yet. The problem is you're selling 2x4s to people that are considering building a house.
Yeah.
Right? It's like, yes, when they decide they're absolutely going to build a house and they're looking for 2x4s, then they're going to buy your 2x4s, right? But the thing is, like, in order to get someone to buy 2x4s to build a house, you have to convince them to build the house, like, and they're not ready to make that step. So all these people are like, whereas on Josh's list, these are people that are entrepreneurs already. They're already like doing stuff, right? Here we've got to tell them, it's mostly like 80% career developers. When you're like, okay, become an entrepreneur, and so you're going to make that decision. You're going to start making courses, and here, buy this thing. So it's it's too many steps down the line.
So think of it like
I just want to back John up on this. I mean, most people, they're just like, look, I'll just go buy a house, or, in the case of software, I mean, a lot of the people on your list are just people who are interested in the content.
Yeah.
Right. And
I agree with everything you're saying, but I'm still surprised. because okay, like in the 135 people that I have in my paid membership group, there are probably close to 10 who have created courses or are into the process. So the people are out there, and like I said, there were people that had signed up for my list that I know were on Simple Programmer list. So I mean, I'm not at all surprised that it wasn't a rousing success. I am still pretty shocked that it was like as bad as it was. So. But this is my thought for the week, but I'll do this early because it kind of fits here. My wife she's got this little paper cup, and it has a saying on it that has become my motto lately, which is, it's either a good idea or a good story.
That's awesome.
So this was in the good story category.
Along those lines is the book Thinking in Bets by Annie Duke, and she talks about separating the quality of decision from the quality of outcome. So.
Yeah, I would say the quality of the decision was maybe a B- or a C, and the quality of the outcome was.
It's not like you can sell the hell out of that. The only thing is, it needed to be at the end of like a course on creating online courses, right?
Yep.
That's the thing. It's like that's why the Bluehost works for us, is because it's the same exact thing. It's 2x4s for people building a house. But they've just completed a tutorial on how to build a house, right? And it's like, here you go.
And even then, it would probably be a little early for that blogging course, maybe a few months down the line. But if you had a course on creating online courses, now you're right.
Right. Yeah, but I even think that, I honestly don't think that even with our audience, that would even be worth doing.
Yeah.
Because it would.
I
mean, you could probably plug this into your blogging course just as another email, but
there's a big jump. I mean, we could do a course on how to create Pluralsight courses, and that would sell better than how to create your own online course, right?
Yeah.
The reason why is because of our audience, right? Because these, like, I mean, you forget about it, right? It's like we're all entrepreneurs here, but back before you were an entrepreneur, like, if you're going to create an online course, you wouldn't think of creating it and selling it yourself. Like, that's like a huge obstacle, right? It's like the people in our audience that are programmers are thinking, okay, can I create a course for someone else? Can I, do this? And even that's a big jump. So
actually agree. I think that how to create a Udemy course or how to create a Pluralsight course I could see that doing fairly well.
Yeah, but the thing is then you're not going to sell a course platform like Podia, right?
Yes, exactly.
You're going to be selling other, video course. But go buy ScreenCat or ScreenFlow or something, right?
Wait a minute. Right. Let's make a course called How to Make $8.75
with affiliate offers.
Hey, you can't deny that I made side income there. I mean, come on. To the guy who's made no dollars online, $8.70 is still a lot.
That's right. Recurring.
Well, you do prove that it's possible, right?
Yes.
I mean, for you, it's a
Well,
dud,
what I
right? Because
proved is that
you've
if
done
you
so
build an
much
email
better.
list, what I proved is that if you build an email list of 86,000 people, that you can sell $8.70.
No, you
Yeah,
can sell anything is what you proved. You actually proved the extreme end of what you had said, which you said you can't really sell anything, but you just proved that you can sell anything.
Actually, though, if you would have sent out an email that says, "I'm going to send you a random bag of shit for $5," you would have sold more.
Yeah.
I'll take take from John's collection and send them over to you for $10 a pop.
I'm just saying, if that's the first dollar you've ever made on affiliate, then it's like, oh well, I just need to find something that people will actually buy. For Josh, it's disappointing because he's done better.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's done a little bit better than that.
Yeah.
Just a little bit, just a hair.
Like 1,000x or 10,000x better.
Yeah.
Let's see that book that whatchamacallit, Irresistible Marketing, is that the book? Like the offer, the offer.
The irresistible offer.
Irresistible offer.
Yeah. It's so true. It's like it doesn't matter. Like you can have a humongous list. You can have, I mean, it's got to match up. Like that offer has to be the thing.
Yep.
So true. It's the same thing what he talks about, what this guy talks about an ultimate sales machine as well.
Yeah.
Right? Ultimately, it boils down. First thing is the customer. But then think about it. If Pat Flynn were to run a deal like this, he would also have a hard time selling very quick, like in 2 days, buy the software or the deal is off. He would probably have an easier time if he did a webinar with those guys explaining the software and let this deal run through for a while.
No, I disagree. I don't think that would have helped at all in this situation. I really don't. I mean, I think it might have helped in that we might have sold $16.75, but it would have, when something is that, like, you're not going to 500x what I did.
Yeah, no,
you won't ever make that worthwhile. Like you can increase it. Yes, you can increase it, but a tactic like a webinar is an amplifier, but it's not going to make it's not going to make a dud into a success. So
yeah.
Why is it only $8.70? I mean, I thought I looked at the deal. It was $29 a month, right? Yeah,
we get 30% commission. It's $8.70. So we got.
You did not negotiate a good deal.
30% recurring. That's pretty good.
That's pretty good. That's good.
That's about the highest I've seen for recurring.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, for recurring. Yeah, I mean 50% of an upfront deal is pretty common, but I drip I think might have been 25% or like.
Yeah, ConvertKit is 30%. I think Aweber is. Oh, yeah. How much is Bluehost? Bluehost is just upfront.
Bluehost is just upfront. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Did you guys negotiate that deal, or that's the deal they offered you?
They both. Like they offered us. Yeah. Bluehost offered us like, it might have been like 50 or something initially, and then as we continued to send them good leads, they bumped it up. So.
Yep.
We just kept on asking them, and they kept on saying yes. And then the last one, they just came to us and said, "We're going to bump it up $20." So.
Not bad.
Yeah, so I'm licking my wounds from that. I'm gonna try. So this weekend, I'm doing a very small pre-launch test pilot thing for a course. So Jason Humphrey and I have been talking about doing 2 different courses. One of them is basically an expanded version of 10 Steps to Learn Anything Quickly, where we take people through as a group. So we started as a cohort, take them through for like 21 days, and we work through the whole plan, make the learning plan, do all the steps, kind of talk about it as a group. So that one, and then we're also talking about doing like a coding interview boot camp type of thing where, again, like short, like maybe 3 or 4 weeks, cohort, like everybody get maybe 100 or so people come in together, work through all the materials together. So if I'm going to go ahead with this, it'll probably be like late August, So what I'm doing, I had Jason do an outline of how he would structure it. And then I wrote some bullet points for that, threw it up in the store as a WooCommerce product. And I'm just going to do an email. So I'm going to do basically just start with 3,000 people. I've got drip set up so that everybody gets assigned a number 1 through 100 when you sign up. So I can select by 1%. I can segment by 1%. So I'm going to do like maybe a 2 or 3% segment and just send out just one email initially and see, offer it as a pre-sale for a pretty steep discount, and then see if we make 3 to 5 sales off of that, then I will just go ahead. I was thinking about it, and I think it's time to do like a all-in, like run at the wall as hard as you can product launch.
Mhm.
And maybe make it a week long, put in effort, do the sales page, do a webinar, do a week's worth of emails, and just like really slam it as hard as we can and just see what happens. Because I've been hesitant to do that because I haven't, like, a lot of the stuff that I've tried hasn't really worked all that well. But with either of these topics, these seem to be the topics that people respond to the most and the most consistently. So if anything is going to work, if I can't make a decent amount of money doing a coding interview boot camp promotion with a guy who's like Jason has coached 36 developers from zero to job, and coached more than 200 people through the interview process. So like if I can't make that work, then that's some valuable information. So I'm gonna after my move. What's that? Yes, I will have a story. You're right.
Story.
Yes.
Then we'll postmortem on quality of decision versus quality of outcome.
And you'll also have paper cup.
Yes.
Another paper cup.
I'll be drinking cheap wine out of my paper cup. Yeah, so that's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm going to do here in August. Is just going to be. So what the idea with this would be, this course. When you buy the course, you're also buying a year of membership in the Simple Programmer community, and we're going to run the course and all the exercises through the community. So people will be coming in with this really intense, 21-day focus on something, and they're going to be in the community the whole time working on it together. And then, once it's over, they're going to already be in the habit of using the community and everything. So,
the community, if you pay for the community, the course is free, or if you pay for the course, the community is free?
I haven't decided that. I think that I might give the course to the community members for free, because I don't have a huge number of them so far. And I think it would just be, well received to do that. But I think I'm going to charge $199 for the course for everybody else, and then they'll get it'll be free. The membership will be free. It'll be included. So I was thinking of doing the other way I was thinking of doing it was like make the course $99 and then have a 30-day membership included, and then they get billed another $99 after 30 days. But I think that would just cause me customer support headache, people complaining. I think it would be a good way to do it, but I think I would backfire a little bit too. So
I mean, you can do it as an upsell. You can do it as a one-click upsell. But if you try to do it,
I want it to be. I just want to I want everybody in the community. So
yeah,
I'd rather get 100 people into the community and take less money than get fewer people in the community and make a little more money doing it as an upsell. So, because the community needs it, I need to keep a good flow of people coming in. It's been going really well. Like we have been getting we've been averaging 25 posts a day, and I did a query in my software, my form software, to see how many people were inactive over the last month, basically, just who hadn't logged in since July, and there's only I'd say about 20 people here, and the other 100 plus have all at least logged in. And yesterday we had almost 40 active users. So yeah, so it seems like it's working. It's working pretty well. I just need to keep. I just need to keep feeding it. I was listening to a really good podcast, and this guy was saying that he was doing the monthly launches for a while with his group, and then it got to be too much, and then so he actually cut it back to quarterly, and they were getting more people in that way than they were with the monthly. So I think once I get to a critical mass of maybe like closer to 300 people or so, I might go to a quarterly open doors type of thing, because it is a lot. Like I feel like I have a lot of things that I want to promote right now, and having to do this once a month is definitely kind of crimping my style.
Mm. John Lee Dumas used to promote the fuck out of his masterminds almost on a daily basis on his podcast. That's how he built it up. Just on his podcast, he would keep talking about it. And the key he had was that he would always say the price will go up next time I open it. So this is the current deadline. Next time it will go up again.
Yep.
Yeah. The challenge here is that you don't have a podcast or something like that where you can kind of.
Yeah. Well, this podcast, they were specifically talking about him, and they were talking about it in the context of like having it open all the time is just not a good idea. Like doing the scarcity windows where you're closing it down is the way to go.
Yeah, he didn't really have it open because he would just say like the price is going
a waiting list or.
Yeah, and you have to get on a call with him, like which was a month.
Oh, okay.
So it was you don't get in. So it was like you don't get in without a call.
Yeah, but it makes sense from a management standpoint too, just because then you have the next batch come in and you can onboard them, get them all set up, get them running, and then once they're kind of self-sufficient or mostly self-sufficient, then you can bring the next batch in. So
yeah.
it kind of serves both purposes.
Yeah, I feel for him it was more of like making the sales process easier because it was a higher ticket, like $100 a month or something like that.
Yeah.
He was using the reverse sales tactic in which he was qualifying the prospect, saying, will you contribute to the community? Will you make sure that you are going to be a good member of the blah, blah, blah? And people are like, yes, I will do it. Yes, yes. Okay, only then will you be allowed to get a sign up. Otherwise, we're not allowed to get a sign up. That's like reverse psychology that works gangbusters for higher ticket. Doesn't work for lower ticket. By the way, I heard someone do this. He send out emails with coupons to the list. And what he did this time was, instead of sending email blasts with a coupon, he said, hey, I'm running a sale, but I'm not going to put the coupon up there because a lot of people share it. Just reply back to me if you want the coupon, and I'll send it to you. I'll send you the link, and you can get the discount there. And he actually doubled his sales as a result of it.
Yeah, I've tried that too. I've actually tried that and did not have that result. Yeah. Actually, that's actually how the first 2 rounds of new members that I did, I actually required them to reply, because I was literally just bootstrapping and I didn't even have a product set up in WooCommerce or anything. Like I was building it as I went. And so I had people reply, and it worked okay, but there was definitely, it was not, I was hoping it would be, I was hoping that approach would be a lot more effective than it was. Because a surprising number of people, I was thinking that it would end up that the people that replied would end up being like almost like 100% conversion, and that was not the case at all. So
I think it works better for higher ticket items because you don't need that many conversions, but the ones you get,
that's true.
Like the total dollar amount will be much higher because they are qualified through the process compared to anything else. Like trying to sell a ticket just normally on email will be much worse than trying to qualify them and then sell them. Yeah,
and I also think you need a lot of authority with your audience to do that, which I don't currently have. Working on that. So every time I've tried to make, like I tried that with the coaching. I mean, I tried So I got people to pay me $250. I got like 10 or 12 people to pay us $250 for like an initial kind of consult, and then thinking that I could get them to maybe do like a $500 a month coaching thing. Zippo. Nobody. Everybody was like, "Oh, I might be willing to pay like $50 or $100 a month."
What was the outcome you were selling?
Basically, look at their current situation and give them a career plan for like a game plan for the next 6 to 12 months. And they were all so super happy. I did half of them, and Jason did half of them. People were like ecstatic about the value we delivered, but they were not ready to do a larger coaching engagement.
Yeah, but think about it though. Like when you just had a regular full-time job, would you have paid someone $500 a month to coach you on your job? Like, I mean, now you would if you went back to a regular full-time job, but before you became an entrepreneur, before you ever,
right?
You know, would you like? I would have been like, you smoking crack? I'm not gonna pay $500. Right. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's the thing. It's like, it's just like now, of course I would do it. Now I would go back in time and I'd be like, yeah, of course I would pay. So I'd pay someone $1,000 a month to
I'm not sure about this. I feel like you guys didn't, there's a specific process on how to sell coaching. There's a very specific way to get people on a coaching call and sell coaching. And just getting on a call and like doing coaching for them and hoping that they will re-up it is pretty difficult compared to actually using a sales process for coaching. That's what all the high ticket coaching guys use. So I think that's where the challenge is. It's not so much that these guys wouldn't pay, because these guys make a lot more money than most of the other industries.
But they've got, you need people that are in the right mindset. The amount of money that they make doesn't matter so much as their mindset about where they are and where they want to go.
These are the same people who will probably pay for like relationship coaching advice, or maybe dating coaching advice, or go to a gym and pay $500 a month to get coached on building muscle. All of those things, they're doing that. These are the same people who are paying all of that money. So if there was the right sales pitch, I would believe that it would work, rather than just getting them on the call and giving them a lot of value. I think there's a sales pitch that the coaches use, that coaching sales calls. There's this guy, Christian Michelson. He's really good at it. Worth looking at it if you're into it. And there's another book called The Prosperous Coach. He talks exactly about that. Steve Chandler, he talks about the idea that a lot of the times in coaching, coaches assume that if they deliver a lot of value on the call, then people will just sign up. But that's the recipe for going broke. Because
see, what we were doing was actually we were basically giving them roadmap and then offering them help with implementation. Most of them came back and said, "This is great. I need help implementing this." And then, so I mean, I think I probably could have gotten them to sign up for $100 or $200 a month coaching, but it's not worth it. It's not worth it. No. So, I mean, I think with our list of, there might be a handful of people that we can get with our list of 107,000 people, but it's just not.
It depends on what the coaching is too, right? Like,
yeah,
I've got coaching clients that pay me $3,000 a month right now. But they're not. I'm not coaching them on their career.
Right.
I'm coaching them on starting their business, on doing real estate investment. Right. So it's worth that money.
And they're in that investment mindset. They've gotten to the point where they're mature enough that they're willing to invest that kind of money. I mean, essentially, that's what a John Lee Dumas, his entire audience is made up of those people.
Yeah,
it's true. It's true.
Yeah, we do have kind of the programming audience is definitely a different audience too, right? There's a lot of like embedded mindsets. There's certain things that programmers just believe should be free, and it's like there's some of the, and some things that you just run up against that that are so it's just there's a little bit of a difference in the audience. So.
Yeah. By the way, I'm working pretty hard on my upsell scripts. I'm working on 3 different upsells, so it's gonna be fun.
Nice. All video?
All video upsells. Yeah, all courses. So it's going to be back to back to back upsells and a bump as well.
You're gonna get pipe bombs in the mail, my friend.
It's fine.
You're gonna be like, you'll have this pile of money on your table and you'll be celebrating, and then you're gonna open this package and there's just gonna
White
be money
powder.
confetti everywhere. Little bits of Manny. Cool. Well, did you do your other launch or the affiliate thing with your the email, the app people?
No, not yet.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's see if it happens next week. I'm not back in San Diego yet. That's part of the challenge. So
You get your Mac fixed though.
Dude, magic, just like that.
It just started working?
Just started working.
It doesn't work in India.
No, it was. So what happened was for one full day, it just totally started working. Then I was at the airport. I'm about to board the flight. I was like, fucking, let's just check it. It's moved around a little bit. Maybe something has helped. Turn it on. It's working.
See, what would have happened to me would have been, I would have stuck it in my bag and it would have turned itself on, and then it would have overheated and like caught my bag on fire.
You're that lucky. Oh man. Yeah. So yeah, I'm trying to get that one going as well. But I think this one will be awesome because we have so much more data now after 2 promotions that we're gonna.
So I'm moving next week, so we'll have to talk. I still want to do our promotion as planned the week after, but
if you want to move it a week, that's fine too. I mean, shit, if you got to be moving, I'm sure that's a lot of work.
Well, I think I can still do it. So I'm still gonna try to write my emails next week. So
okay.
We'll be.
You need anything from me for those emails, or you're good?
What's that?
You need anything from me for those emails,
I don't think so. Yeah, I think I'm good.
Yeah. You already have the data from last time, or you already have the information from last time. So.
Yep. Cool. We should probably let John get some sleep.
It's not time, John. You cannot sleep yet.
I know. I'm gonna get the restaurants are opening now, so we're gonna get some food.
Just give your daughter a squirt gun and just.
No sleeping allowed for another 4 hours.
Yeah, I know. All right, shall we do our thoughts then? Huh?
Yeah. Mine was already. I already did my. What's that?
Your thoughts 2.0.
Oh gosh, that's a lot of pressure. I don't know. I'll have to think about. I have to come up with something else.
So if no one else has thoughts, I'll thoughts.
Go for it.
Mostly it was just I got out of my routine this week, coming to Podcast Movement. And then, I kind of picked and chose the sessions that I went to. So I didn't by any means attend the majority of sessions. But just getting out of my comfort zone and finding people who had different ideas from what I was after kind of changed the direction of where I was headed for some of this stuff. And I think that's pretty healthy. So a lot of times I think we just get kind of heads down on what we're doing and keep pushing ahead with what we're doing, which works a lot of the time. But, finding somebody with a different point of view and having them kind of push back on some of the things that you're doing or thinking really helps. And I mean, that's part of what we do with the mastermind, but we've also gotten pretty comfortable with each other. And so to have somebody just look at me and say, why are you doing that? Or have you thought about doing this different thing? That's really, really valuable. And that's something that really came through for me this week.
Nice.
I would say, okay, mine is pretty obvious, but I think we forget it a lot, which is the key to figuring out where you're going to fuck up in the future is where you fucked up in the past. Right?
So past performance is an indicator of future performance.
Exactly. So like when I got here, like, I mean, every time that I go, like I've been doing, travel quite a bit, but every time I do lengthy travel, like I end up like just like gaining weight, not like a huge amount of weight, but like just just like what the fuck, what am I doing? And so or getting sloppy with my routine and stuff. And so like I was just thinking about today when I was doing my run, I was like, okay, like where did I mess up in the past? Like so that I can go and say, okay, that's the most likely thing that's going to happen in the future. So if you don't do something to change what caused you to mess up in the past, the same thing will cause you to mess up in the future. So you just have to look at your past and say, okay, what would I have done differently in the past? And now you apply that forward, going forward. But I mean, it's, like I said, it's really basic, but it's so many times that's what trips us up. It's a very simple solution to our problem.
So true.
I mean, I'll go with 2.0 here. So I'm one of my favorite. I think this was Gary Halbert saying. He said a gifted product is more powerful than a gifted pen or something like that. And that was just sort of what was going on this week with the Podia thing. It was just the product itself, the offer really is paramount, and no amount of copy and wordsmithing and persuasion techniques and everything are really going to change that underlying reality too much. So put your focus on the product first, not so much on the copy.
Yeah. Mine is about habit formation, really, and it's about like even when you're traveling, when you're doing all sorts of things. One of the things is it's really easy to get off track, get off your normal day-to-day routine. And then really like once you do that, you're really fucked because you now end up doing all sorts of stupid things like eating crap, not working at the right times, not working out. All of that shit goes out of the window, right? So the thing that has helped me the most of like in my travel now more than ever is shrink. Like if I don't feel like I don't have enough time, or I feel like, oh shit, maybe later. No, don't worry about like shrink the schedule, but keep the the scope, but keep the order, keep the discipline.
Yeah.
So instead of meditating 15 minutes a day, even if I meditate 1 minute that day, if I still wrote my goals as soon as I wake up in the morning and I just did it once rather than writing it multiple times, and if I just meditated for 1 minute, and if I showered and even if I just did 20 push-ups, all of those things actually put you back into your routine, put you back into the rhythm. You don't have to be really extensive in your goal creating or in your habit process sometimes, but keep the process. I think that's the key rather than worry about the scope.
Yep. Momentum.
Definitely.
Yeah. It's like mini habits, but
Yeah, I like that because you think about the mini habits things sometimes when you're starting new habits, but not so much as a technique for maintaining them.
That's right.
Really
It is a good technique. Yeah, you put it on. You nailed it.
Maintenance mode.
Yep.
All right, guys. I will have a different backdrop next week. So
I don't think I'll be here because I think I'll be on a boat. So
okay.
Okie dokie.
All
All right.
You're staying in Philly or going somewhere, or staying in Pittsburgh or going somewhere?
Yes, staying in Pittsburgh. Just moving about 5 miles away.
All right.
Bigger house.
Nice.
Yes.
Congrats.
Cool.
Very, very excited. So, alrighty, guys. See ya next week.
Yeah, man. Bye-bye.